Ooh, Oakley. This next question is about breaking up, and it's from a listener who's a young adult like you, and they specifically wanted your take on this topic. And I think that's an important note to highlight for you listening because I can give all the advice in the world, but I'm 55. And sometimes you want to hear from somebody your age. And as an 18-year-old Oakley, you probably understand what they're going through. And I know that there have been numerous times where your sisters have told me, Mom, your advice is irrelevant because you are so far away from the age and the issues that I'm dealing with. And so I want advice from somebody my age. And so, Oakley, that's what this listener is asking for, your advice on this topic. So here's the question. Oak, how do I know when it's time to break up with somebody?
That's a good question. I think here's what I'm going to say. And I'll expand upon this, of course. But
Okay.
when it's time to break up with somebody, you will always know what you want deep down. And 9 times out of 10, what's holding you back is your worry about their feelings and hurting them. But in a relationship, you do take the other person's feelings into account. But when it comes to things like breakups, you should be taking what will make you feel the best into account.
But what if you're terrified about hurting this person and you know they're going to cry and you just don't want to deal with it? You're going to see them at school.
That's like a given. If you are not happy anymore in this relationship, I can promise you will be more happy out of it. And yes, there will be those times where maybe you see them and maybe it's a little awkward or they cry and it's a little sad, but that's a moment in time that might last like an hour instead of you spending the rest of your time with somebody that you aren't currently happy with.
I noticed something about you, maybe this is too much information, that you don't like the random hookup.
No.
Why?
No, I don't. This is a me thing, but I want to know the person. I want to care about them. I want to feel like there's something there. I want to see something with them to just cause I don't see a point in just hooking up with somebody to hook up with somebody. I feel like it's kind of just tacky and dumb, but if you do it, you do it, and that's totally fine. And I'm not going to say you're wrong, but for me, I feel like I want to know them and care about them and respect them because it also just makes it feel more special and enjoyable when you're actually with them.
Is it possible to be friends with your ex?
Yeah, I would say.
How?
The best way is that in the beginning you need space.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be talking to them after. There can be no hookups afterwards. You can't get back together and try and hook up. You shouldn't be calling them while you're drunk or anything like that. And you need to understand that it takes time and that you also will not have the same relationship you had when you were dating. But you can still be friends. You can still hang out from time to time. But it's important to know that it won't be the exact same and that it may be a little awkward from time to time.
This is somebody who's going into college. They want to know, how can I stay in touch with or support my younger sibling as we're shifting into adult sibling relationships?
Right. For me and my sisters, honestly, I wouldn't say we talk that much. We talked every now and then, maybe twice a month. But,
so it's 6 and 5 years difference.
Mm-hmm. We were just living our lives. We were in school and that takes up our priority and there's a lot going on. But I think just reaching out to your younger sibling and be like, hey, if you ever need to talk, I am here. I'm always going to be here, even if I'm not in the house. That's huge. That's really big. Even if you guys aren't talking every day, which you don't need to be. But I just recommend you definitely say, I'm here to talk whenever you need. I'm always here for you. I went through high school. Let me know what's going on. Yeah.
One thing that's made a big difference for me is we started a family group chat. We light it up all day long.
Yeah, we do light the thing up all day long with photos, and having a big family group chat's great. Cause for me, I don't really communicate that often. I'm a horrible texter. I'm horrible at it. And so having the group chat where it's just like, mom's like, how is everybody? And then like Kendall's like, oh, I'm great. And Sora's like, oh, I'm awesome. Here's a photo of where I am right now. And then I'm like, oh, everyone's like chilling out. Like they're all great. And I'm like, cool. Like I feel
It
great.
makes us feel very connected, and you can pop in, you can pop out. We celebrate each other. We do roll call occasionally. We share funny memes.
Yeah. A family group chat for anything that you want to talk about is just such a great way to feel connected, just because you don't feel like you have to have like a serious conversation. Like you can send one word things, just like so many times people will text just like, miss you guys. And then it's just something cute like that. Or other times someone will send a photo and it's like, this is so mom or something. And it's like, just like fun stuff like that, which makes you have fun and feel connected and things like that.
Awesome.
All
right. Next question. Oakley, what do you do if you're a kid and you feel like your parents play favorites?
Oh, I think it's important to have a conversation with your parents about what you feel, and it's important to communicate how you feel all the time. And so if you feel like your parents are playing favorites, you shouldn't play the blame game, of course. As a parent, what would you be most open to hearing if I was like, I feel like you're picking favorites?
I would say, I'm sorry you feel that way. What am I doing that makes you feel that way? And how can I change?
If you're going to go into that conversation with your parents, because that's a pretty serious conversation, I think that you should definitely have a few examples in mind, a few scenarios.
I think it's great coaching to say, come in with specific examples and focus on how it made you feel.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if you tell your parents they're playing favorites, they'll get defensive. If you say, hey, I'm starting to feel like I'm not important.
Yeah.
And then you give the examples, then they'll be more open to it. Here's another one. My sister wants to know if Oakley is single. And if yes, she'd like to ensure that he's not a Gemini.
Interesting. Yeah, I am single right now, and I am a Pisces.
Nice.
Born in March.
Okay. You looking for a relationship?
I don't need to talk about that. So I don't need to talk about that here. But, I'm just playing it by ear. I'm just letting whatever happens happen.
Okay.
And that's kind of...
You're a very confident guy.
I feel like for most people, they're quite confident until they get to like middle school, when people are starting to be like, oh my God, like I hate myself because like for some reason.
I think it's puberty. I think your body starts to change and you lose control over it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's also just like how everybody starts to talk about each other rather than like other things. Because in elementary school, you guys were just talking about who knows what, honestly. I don't know what's going on.
Legos.
Yeah, Legos, like toys.
Stuff you're collecting.
Ponies, horses, like something random's going on in elementary school. But once you get to middle school and you realize that everybody's starting to talk about each other, then you start to be like, oh my goodness, like I'm feeling a little self-conscious. I think it's super important to...
You went through the stage where you were self-conscious.
Of course, I did, yeah.
How did you go from a kid who was worried about his boobs?
Oh my God, my boobs. My man boobs. I mean, one thing, time heals all, for sure. But also just understanding that everybody's going through the same exact thing that you are. Like, you may look at your feet, I guess, and not like the way your feet look, while other people are like looking at their forehead. And they're never looking at you. You're the only one looking at yourself. So...
How do you tap into it, though? Was it community theater? Was it...
Theater's a good way. It's such a good way to become more confident, because you just have to get over like being shy and not wanting to express yourself. So theater's a great way. Not saying that you should force your kids to do theater, but theater's a really good way to get more confidence. Also, just like being with the right people is super big, because if you're with a bunch of people that are hyping you up all the time, you're going to feel pretty hyped up all the time rather than like negative about yourself.
Or chasing people that you think will make you cool.
Yeah.
Actually makes you feel insecure.
Yeah. That'll 100% make you insecure. If you're trying to achieve a certain image to be with a certain group of people, that's never going to work out for you. I can promise you that.
So seek out people
that hype you up.
That hype you up, that make you feel good when you're around them.
Yeah.
Maybe push yourself to do theater or try some clubs that force you to come out of your shell.
Try like drama club or like doing debate club or something like that. Just like something that brings you out of your comfort zone. And if you don't like it, like leave the club. It's all good. So for example, today is Halloween, spooky season. And I had this duo costume planned with one of my friends, peanut butter and jelly. It's really bulky. It makes you look really weird. And we're talking on the phone before school starts. And I'm like, are you going to bring your costume? Are you going to wear it? And he was like, probably not. And I was like, you know what? Like, if you're not going to bring it, I don't really want to wear it. Like, I'm not going to do it. So I get to school and I'm not really wearing it in the beginning. And then I'm looking around at all these costumes and I'm loving them. Like, I like the stuff that people are wearing. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go for it. Like, I'm going to put it on. I'm going to wear it. And so for the rest of the day, I was walking around in a piece of toast with jelly on it costume. And everyone was like, where's the peanut butter? And I was like, it's just me. Like, it's just the jelly. And that was super fun because a bunch of people loved it. I loved it. Like, I was having fun with it. And at first I felt like it was something where I'd get judged for doing it. And then I realized that, you only live once, which is super corny, but it's like, if you never do it, then you're just going to regret it. So I just went for it and I ended up having so much fun with it.
And you know what else? When you hold yourself back from trying something like that, you're the one judging yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so simply going, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to try this thing I've never done. It does give you a boost of confidence because you stop judging yourself the moment you put it on.
Yeah. The moment I put it on, I was like, all right, this is sick.
Let's go. What I love about that, Oakley, is you cannot get confident by just sitting on the couch and thinking about it.
Mm-mm.
You have to take action. And whether you're talking about signing up for drama class so that you'll push yourself out of your comfort zone.
I can give you another example of doing something new in your life, how that builds confidence. Take Dad, for example.
Yeah.
He has started these men's retreats, and now he has gone back to school and is getting his master's, which is sick.
That's totally sick.
Super sick.
What do you do if you're a kid and you feel like your parents play favorites?
Oh,